Hey everyone, Alex from the Chicago Music Exchange here. Today I'm going to be showcasing this 1959 Fender Stratocaster in a gorgeous two-tone sunburst. 1959 was a transition year for Strats for a number of reasons, and this guitar kind of combines the coolest features of both the 50 Strats and the early 60 Strats. The first thing you'll notice is this is a two-tone burst. A lot of Strats have that third little halo of red between the yellow and the brown. And this is a particularly light brown on the edge. It doesn't go out to a really deep or dark black almost that you see on some of them, which means you can see the grain all the way to the edge of this guitar, and it looks really gorgeous. Next, you'll notice that this has a single-ply 50s guard on it. This was right before Fender went to a 3-ply in 1960, so that's super cool to kind of have that. It's a dead giveaway that this is a 50s Strat. Three hand-wound pickups. This is when Fender was still putting a lot of handwork into their guitars, so you've got just tons and tons of character coming out of this guitar. Moving up on the guitar, you'll notice that this is actually a rosewood fretboard. Fender started using rosewood in 1958 as a high-end feature on their Jazzmasters. People liked it so much they figured they'd put it on their Strats and Tellys. And since this is one of the earliest examples on a Strat, it's actually what they call a slab board, which means that both the maple and the rosewood are milled completely flat and just joined flat together. That kind of disappeared into the early 60s. They started doing it more as a veneer, so to find this is super cool, especially with the clay dots, which are, again, only found on the first couple years that they did this. So you've got some of the features that you usually find on the early 60s Strats, which is the clay dots in the board, but with some of the more 50s styling with the pickguard. One thing I really like about this particular guitar is the neck profile. A lot of the early and mid-50s Strats have this really pronounced V, and a lot of the Strats after this period, up into the mid-60s, have a really flat profile in the back of the neck. This one's somewhere in the middle. It's really not a V, it's more of like a C sort of profile, but it's not super flat. It just ends up being this nice, perfect curvature that sits really, really well in your palm. And this guitar has definitely been played. It's nice and worn in. It's just got the perfect action. You've got tons of life left in the frets, and it's incredibly resonant. Both the neck and the body just vibrate perfectly. This is probably, I think, one of the best examples I've ever played of how great a Strat can actually be. Today, I'm going to be playing this through a Vox AC-15. We're going to start off clean through the top boost channel, and then I'm going to kick on a Caroline Effects Wave Cannon for a little bit of fuzz. Let's fire it up and see how it sounds.